Hey everybody, this is Crazy with Crazy Gaming, and today we're going to start a new series, Junk Punk. Now, I played this game back in the beta, and then again after the early release. I have completed both monoliths, but I thought with Hold Your Own kind of finished for now, I would start a new series using the Junk Punk because they just did a big huge update to this and they added vehicles and some other things. And so I'm going to start from scratch and bring you guys along with me. Hopefully you'll enjoy the game. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. At the end, if you like the video, hit that like button. It helps me out. And also, hit the bell so you can get a reminder to let you know when I drop another video. So let's jump right in. Okay, so this game is a lot of fun. You're playing as a robot on an alien planet. And well, you're basically mining stuff and building stuff. This is one of those type of games. Um, it's not. I wouldn't even call it mining and harvesting stuff. Piles of junk, as you can see. Um, and then you're going to complete some tasks to unlock the first monolith and begin the process to reclaim the planet. These little pads with question marks on them are like codexes. We open it up. The first one here tells you how your controls work on your keyboard. This one here is an origin story. It kind of tells what happened, how all this happened. You can read this if you want. The data log about the ship and how it got damaged and how we crashed here. And this one is talking about the resources here on the planet, which is all these piles of junk and stuff. Now, some of them are self-explanatory in that those are obviously rubber tires, so that would be rubber scrap. This is metal scrap, the scrap junk. And it's talking about, this talks about the various types of metals and materials here. Point is, is that big white tall building off in the distance there is Monolith 1. That is the first phase of the game, and we will definitely be doing the tasks there to get the reclamation process started. The first thing they want to do is oxygenate the atmosphere. And so what we need to do is harvest this junk, these materials here, which will afford us to build things and construct things and make things that we need to get that process going. Now, if I hit the F key, it'll bring up this little green icon on the screen, which is my pointer for my laser. By holding my left mouse button down while pointing at one of these piles of junk, it will deconstruct the junk and fill my backpack with it. We're going to want to harvest a bunch of this before we head up towards the monolith. Now, in the demo and the beta, you could, but most people didn't know what was going on with the game. So like me, a lot of us built ourselves a base right here next to this crashed spaceship. But in actuality, we want to start building up by the monolith because that's where all our tasks are going to be. So I want to grab a bunch of materials to take up there. So that when I get up there, I can complete the beginning tasks that it's going to give us, which is kind of a tutorial on building and things. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of this stuff while we're here. and even some more on our way up there. We'll be building our first base right there next to right in front of the monolith. And now with this update, they've added vehicles, fairly cool. I have a free play save in this game right now. I did jump on and play it for a little bit so I could kind of see how the changes are and stuff. And it is definitely cool. I've completed, previous to this update, and I had another series, I completed the monolith 1 requirements and the monolith 2 requirements. The developers are in the process of preparing the next patch, which is going to be monolith 3. When that will be released is unknown still, but I'm thinking maybe the end of the year or early spring of next year, I hope. I hit Q, it opens up my inventory. Now you can push left click, you don't have to hold it, and it puts you on run mode, and you'll stay on run mode until you hit that shift key again. But that's kind of nice, but it's confusing for me because I'm so used to the games I'm playing holding down the shift while I'm running. So I keep accidentally hitting it and stop myself from running. But anyways, here. Oh. All right. So let's head on up. We're going to grab some tires on our way up. Some rubber scrap. We will need some of that. Plus it will kind of clear our path. Now these little things you see sticking out of the ground here are piles as well, so you want to make sure you get those. Now the reason it's important to begin a build up here instead of back there is that eventually in the process here, we're going to be required to grow some plants, so we need a water source. And the closest water source is right up here near the monolith. So that's another reason why we want to build up here. So like I was telling you, there's a number of different scrap piles, different styles. Currently we've been doing metal scrap. Now I'm pooping the excess, and this is what happens when your bags get full. So it drops these little boxes, but we can always come back for them, so it's not a big deal. Now if you'll notice, this pile I'm jumping over here doesn't look like what we've been doing. This is rare metal junk. There is also plastic junk, which looks like this. It has this green kind of tint to it with these purples in it. That is plastic junk. There's electronic junk, and so there's there's a bunch of different stuff. And so let's get up here by the monolith. This is our water source right there. Over here. Now, before this big update and when I was playing last, I would build a base like right here. So I'd be super close to this for my nursery for growing the plants. But I'm going to build up here by the monolith. And we'll be close to it. And we're going to build a big, I guess, bevy of foundations up here. And we are going to do everything right here, including our manufacturing and our growing, all in one spot. So it's going to be nice. First thing I need to do is put down some platforms. And if you look up in the left of my screen, it says construct a crafting bench. And so that's what we're going to do. These are the foundations. There's big foundations and there's just foundations. These the big foundations is what I use. And so I'm going to build onto this here. So I'm going to put one there. And this is just eyeballing it and trying to line it up. I can clip right over this stuff, and that's what I'm trying to do. So this is something that I'm doing on purpose. Which is nice because you used to couldn't do that. There's a method to my madness. There's a reason that I'm doing this. All right, so we'll get back to that. Let's not get too carried away here. We need to build a crafting bench, so that'll be under player. And under the players tab is where you'll find your basic restart station, the crafting bench, and then 3 container styles. This is the large container, this is a medium container, and this is the small container. This wants us to construct the crafting bench, which is this, so we'll click on that. And we will rotate this. And we will build the crafting bench over here. Actually, let's rotate it this way. Let's put it down right there. Now the question mark that I covered up here still works, as you can see. That protocol is about the monolith and getting up to it. But first we need to put down 4 foundations. And that's not the big foundations. That's going to be under base. That is just a foundation, which is what it's calling for. Now 4 of these put together make one of the big foundations, and that's what we're going to use it for right now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That fills the requirement, and it gives us a piece the size, same size as the big foundations that we've been doing. All right, and so next it wants us to build a pillar. The pillar is right here in the lineup under the base. I'm just going to stick it over here on the corner for a second, because as soon as I've completed that, I'm going to get rid of that. So now that I've met the requirement, I'm going to hit F, and I do it just like the junk. And this is how you pick things up in this game. Now, when I do this, what happens is I get all the materials for making it back into my inventory. So there you have it. All right, next it wants me to make 8 large walls. Now I'm going to build these up just for completing this. I'm not going to leave them here. I'm going to also delete them as soon as we're done, as soon as I completed it. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. That's 7 of 8. All right, that completes that. We'll hit F, and we will delete all these. All right, and then now it's telling us it wants a 2x2 doorway. There again, we will do this just to complete the task. And then delete it as soon as it's recognized. All right, next it wants us to build 4 roofs, which means we need to put some walls down again, which I'm going to do at the place we're going to use as our entrance, which is right there. So let's make our roofs. That's going to be on the next. You got to scroll over to get to where the roofs are. Come on. So that's 4. That's 8. Oh, one only had to do 4. And then let's go ahead and delete those real quick. All right. And 1 small container. We'll put that container over here by our bench. Containers are there again, or under player. This is a small container. And we will put that right. We'll rotate using R. We'll put it right there. And there you have it. That completes the tutorial. Now we have an incoming signal. Go to the monolith. And here is the question mark that talks about the monolith. We'll open it up. It says the monolith entrance bridge has collapsed. Construction of structures will be necessary to achieve entry. So it wants us to go up into the monolith, but we're going to need to build something up to it. What used to be, you had to go through all kinds of changes because everything had to be supported with beams and pillars and all kinds of things. The snapping in the game was pretty non-existent. It was very hard to get things to line up correctly. And it was just overall crazy. And it was difficult to get up there, and you had to build all kinds of weird contraptions to try to get up there. Well, all that's changed now. The developers have fixed all those issues. So I'm going to go to base, and I'm going to scroll over to the second page, and then I'm going to click on stairs. I'm going to bring the stairs right about here. Maybe a little farther this way. Right about, come on, get over there. There you go. Come on, there you go. Let's rotate. We are going to go boom, boom, boom. Oops. Let's go ahead and delete that. Back to our build menu, scroll down. We're going to put 1 more stair on here, and then we're going to go to floors. I'm going to connect a floor here, then another, and then another, and now I have a way to get up. I'm going to build me a little platform here so I don't fall off. which is kind of nice. And now we were able to gain entry. Now, when I get inside here, there's going to be a spill that this alien computer or whatever is going to say. So I'm going to go ahead and let that roll so you guys can hear what it says. And then we'll come back out when it's done. Okay, so what he was talking about here, when he said I need these two keys, a biological and technical key. These are the keys. What's going to be required of us is to grow these plants, and then once fully grown, bring them here and deposit them in these slots. We're also going to need to bring 6 buckets of water, 6 buckets of dirt, 20 gold bars, and 20 aluminum bars or ingots. Now, it used to be you had to make 100 of each of these, which took forever, and it was boring. And the developers finally realized this, and so they changed it. So we only need to grow 6 plants, which is going to be wonderful because it's going to save us so much you wouldn't even fathom. So thank God for that. That has really changed the game for me that they've done that. That's awesome. And it's really going to be nice for people who are beginning to play this game, because getting that successfully completed took forever, and it was just a really boring thing. And they knew it, and they came, or at least they came to realize it, and they said it's as much. And then they realized that it's a game that's supposed to be fun, and it's not supposed to be something that, makes the game unfun. So good for them. This is the tech key. We're going to need to be required to provide all these things, which means we are going to need to build a factory line of machines to manufacture all this stuff. And it seems harder than it is, and as you'll find in these videos, it's fairly simple and it's pretty easy to do. You're going to pick some of this stuff up as you harvest things. I don't know that we didn't get some already. Let's take a look at our inventory. Yeah, see, we have some of the small gears, but here's a pump, here's a rubber spool. We did pick up some buckets from some of those. There's some large gears. These are small gears. And so you'll pick things up as you do this. Eventually, we are going to want to use this thing. Is going to be something I'm going to build right away if I can, and this is called an industrial laser. This will harvest stuff automatically, and it has a place on the back of it to connect a belt to, so you can ship it back to your base and put it in a container or whatever you want to do with it. Now, that's the way I play the game. You don't have to do it. I mean, the game is, diverse, and you can play in any way you want. Let's go up and I'll show you where you get your seeds for your plants. And we'll grab some while we're up here. This is the biological key place. You'll bring the biological key here and put it here to activate it. You come to either window, this one or this one, and you can pick up the seeds. And we're going to grab those right now because they are going to respawn again real quick, and we'll be able to get 2 sets this time. Shift and left click will afford you to just snap things into your bag. Did we get them all? I think we missed some. 3. We only got 3. Oh, geez. Because my bag is full. Well, that just blows. So I'm going to go dump these. I don't want them because I don't want an even number. Otherwise, I'm going to have an odd number of these in my bag, and then I'll come back up and collect them again. So I'm going to bring these ones over here around the side, and hopefully I'll be able to get them out of my bags. And then we will put the stuff that we have in our container, in our bags, in a container over here in our little storage bin, so that we have space for the plants. Let's put the buckets in here. This, the plastic and the gold we won't be using very soon, or rare metal, and we'll keep the rest of this stuff. There we go. Now we can go back up there and grab our first set of the seeds. Because we're going to need to collect the seeds 3 times. All right. There's 5 sets of seeds here. There we go. That's better. Now, you don't take fall damage in this game, so you don't have to worry about jumping from a high place or any of that stuff. This is where the tech key goes to activate. So once you get the tech key, you bring it up here and stick it in here, and you can activate it that way. And then you can I just jump down. I don't wait. And then once I'm out here, wahoo! Okay, so now that we've completed that, we need to get back on building our base. What I'm going to want to do is try to get the materials to construct this deal. And to do that, I'm going to need those electronic parts. So I'm going to try to run over here and find an electronics pile. The electronics pile is dark and doesn't have a lot of color in it. So it's kind of easy to identify. This looks like electronics right there. As you can look at it, it doesn't really have a lot of color to it. This is electronics junk, so I'm going to hit F to get my laser up, and I'm going to start doing that. Now, see, as you can see, I got a basic capacitor already. I got a basic motor, basic pump, another basic motor. So you can collect these things from doing this. And what we're trying to do, we got the basic capacitors that we need. Oh, I'm pooping stuff because I'm already full. We need to get these seeds out of our bags. All we need is a basic processor. We're going to go back up here. And by the way, those little boxes that I pooped out from being over full will stay there, so when I come back down, I'll be able to pick them up. They won't despawn right away. Oh. All right, so it's time to build a container. Now you can't turn like this while you have a tab open, just a heads up. All right, so where do we want to put this container? Well, I think we'll put it right here. I'm going to go to player, and I'm going to go to the medium container, rotate it, and I'm going to put it right, a little more, right there. Now I can open this up, and I can put all my seeds in here. Anything else I want, like the motor and these parts. Now this is what we need for, this is one of the parts that we need for the machine we're trying to build. The laser. So all we need is a basic processor. Let's run back over where that electronics pile is and see if we can get one. And there they are. Let's see if that's a wire spool, wire spool. We're looking for a basic processor. There's some resistors, basic capacitors, basic pumps. And it's luck of the draw. Sometimes you won't get anything. You won't get the part you need. Sometimes you will. Make sure one didn't slide in there. Nope, still haven't got one. But if all else fails, we'll be able to manufacture one at our workbench. There it is right there. And that's what we wanted. And I'm going to stop because I don't want to unnecessarily keep filling my bag with stuff that I'm not going to be using. So we'll take this back up. Right-clicking your mouse when you're in the process of doing stuff will automatically stop whatever those processes are. Let's empty some of this stuff out of our bags. That's what we were looking for. We got some more pumps. Those and small motors. Those will come in handy. We'll be glad we have them later on. And so these are the parts that we were looking for so that we could make this. And so what the first place I'm going to set this up is going to be right here. And I'm going to, now as you can see, the opening in the back of it is what we need to belt things to, like a container, which is what we're going to do. I want the container to be on a platform. So before I build it, I'm going to build that platform over. Oops, that's not good. Hate when that happens, but it does. Also, if you damage stuff, if you hit the V, the little wrench will come up and it will repair something if it has damage. Just so you know. There we go. Now we don't want to get in front of that laser because it will destroy whatever it hits. Let's take this off. I'm going to put the container right here, just for now. I'm going to hang that off a little bit right there, like that. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it on the platform here. That's better. To hit T, I get a little headlamp that helps me see in the dark. Now I'm going to go over to connections. Click on the scrap belt. Start it here. Bring it up there. And now this thing will be able to feed it right into there. Next, we need power. I don't know if we have all the materials for it. Hopefully we do. Let's see. Power. Oh, we need small gears. And what else did it say? Small and large gears. We need 2 large gears and 5 small gears. Now there's 2 ways to get that. I could go searching for them. We may have some already. We don't. Okay, wait, let me check this one real quick. There's some small gears. We don't have to go get them. We have some. But if we had to, we could go to our bench here and make them. Opening up the menu for that, I hit E, and if I scroll down, as you can see, we can manufacture them in here. There's a lot of parts we can manufacture on that bench. All right, that being said, let's get over here. I'm going to put it up on top here because that's the safest place for it, out of the way of the laser. You want to be mindful of those things. Okay, I'm going to turn this with R, I'm going to rotate and get that power outlet facing our machine, our laser. Next, I need to go over to the bench, and I need to make an electric cord for it, a power cable. And in fact, I'm going to make a few of these because I'm going to need them later on. All right. Now, this whole little setup right here is portable, which means I can pick it up whenever I want, move it to wherever I want, and make things work, which is really nice. When you're going to connect up pipe or wire or things like that, or belts and stuff, try to make sure that you can see both openings, because you can't turn your head or move your body to get a different view once you are in the mode to do this. So I click on connections, click on this, bring it up here, bring it down here, and connect it. Now the laser is connected, and as you can see, it's immediately feeding whatever materials it's hitting. So when I set this up, I'm going to stand, I try to get up on top of it so I get a good view, and then I'm going to move my head in the direction to the right. This is just how I do it. You don't have to if you don't want to. And then I'm going to hit E, and it's going to bring up that window, and this is why I turn my head to the right, so it doesn't block my view of what I'm trying to harvest. So with this control, I can adjust this thing. So I'm going to adjust the laser down, and I want it to have this. I want it to swing back and forth, so I'm going to kind of center it in the area I want, because I don't want it going too far to the left. I'm going to hit auto rotate, kill the window, and then that way I can get a good view of how far it's going to swing. It shouldn't go far. And there's its arc right now. I can change that if I want by making adjustments. But for right now, I just wanted it to start harvesting, and it will harvest and fill all that stuff into there. Now this will harvest any of the different styles of junk, but for now I'm just having it do the metal junk or scrap junk so that I can continue building my base, because I'm going to build in that direction. So once it's kind of cleared its path, then you have to adjust it again. Now when you're in big piles out there, you don't have to do that. You can just set it up, get it to do a real wide arc, and then take off and go do other stuff, and it will then allow it to just run. But this is a smaller area here, and sometimes you'll have to do this, and that's managing it yourself. And so I'm going to bring this back to about there. And now I'm going to set the auto up again, and it should come back and start hitting this other side now. I may have the pitch on this a little high. Let's bring it back down like this. I want it to go farther this way. And in fact, we'll just ride the machine and do this. Help it clear it ourselves, so we can hurry up and get done with it. Because I really can't do much until all this stuff is harvested and out of my way. And believe me, it doesn't take long with this machine to clear big sections of this stuff. Now some things you won't be able to reach because you can't get it lined up right. Like, see the little tiny scrap in the ground there? I'm going to have a hard time with that because the adjustments on this are so big that it won't allow me to land on a spot to get it. So that's one that we'll have to do by hand, manually. And then other times you can get to them. Like that piece right there, I can't get to that. That one I can. These smaller pieces here we might be able to get. Yep. Alright, let's load this back up again and continue to work our way through this. As you can see, we'll reach quite a ways from where you are. Now it does have limitations on its range. So there will be things, you'll reach a point where your things look like they're hitting on stuff, but they won't be. It just has a range on it. I'm not quite sure what the actual distance is, but it's quite a ways off. You can still reach things. Okay. So as you can see, it clears stuff out pretty good. Let's go ahead and swing back this way. Finish clearing this real quick. So if you ever find yourself in a position where you can't put down the container for it, or you don't have a way to get belts back to your base, I used to haul the container around with me from place to place and fill things that way, but I don't do that anymore. Now I belt everything from the laser back to my base, no matter how far the distance is, and I've run some pretty long belts. I just like that better because it's easier and I don't have to do a second move by taking things from the container, loading my bags, and running it all the way back to the base. And it works pretty well. And we're almost done here. Alrighty. I think we'll call that good. Oops, wrong one. Now, even though I turned that off, the belt will still continue to fill until it empties the machine. Now I can just run down here with my little laser and finish off these spots that the laser couldn't reach. And so we don't really mind doing this. It's fairly simple. You can clear an area manually fairly easy. In the beta, when this first came out, we didn't have the laser. And so everything you did was all by hand. You kind of got used to it or whatever, but throughout the whole game, you make things really, really monotonous after a while. You spend a lot of time running to a place to grab the materials and then running all the way back to empty your inventory so that you can go back out and grab some more. Okay. It looks like we cleared it pretty good. As you can see, there was a pretty huge pile of stuff here, and now it's gone. I'm going to run back up and grab the second set of seeds that I need. And then we'll only have to go up one more time to get seeds. And we'll have all the seeds to grow the amount that they need. How's our bag looking? It looks all right. All right. Okay. So we're going to want to move all that stuff because that's not where that's going to be. But for now, it'll be fine. I'm going to expand on this base a little bit. So let's lay some more foundations down real quick. So the snapping on this is awesome, as you can see. Very simple. And in fact, in the next phase, when we're on monolith 2, the foundations for those are so good at snapping that I can build just standing in one spot all the way to the horizon almost without ever moving. It just works really well. Okay, so we're out of materials. All right, so I'm building out over this space because it's going to afford me to build my power down here. Now I'm going to build a power plant here and using the windmills and everything that is on top, all the machines, etc. that require power will be fed power up through the floor, so they won't be, all this stuff won't be visible, all the cables and all that stuff. It works quite well, and in fact, on my free play account that I'm currently, I started again like this that we're doing. I'm currently at monolith 2, and I have built quite the little factory over there. I have actually, for the first time, in the previous versions, I had never spent any time on trying to make like a factory. I just wanted to slam the machines down and get it done. It took a while to get it all done, and it's really hard getting balance and stuff. And so I focused on all that, and I didn't really take any time for cosmetics or anything. And this time I really have. I have spent quite a bit of time building a factory, and my storage, my power plant there is pretty awesome, and it's all enclosed, and it has glass, and you can look down and see into it. I mean, it's just you know, and eventually in the play series we'll take a visit over there, and I'll show you what I've done. You can kind of get an idea how things looks right now. I don't want to put a spoiler in until we get ourselves from this place to the next phase. I don't want to spoil what's ahead, so we'll wait for that. Anyhow, so we're starting to establish our base here, which is real nice. I can run over here and grab some of this, which is what I need to continue putting down foundations. And so that's probably far enough that way. Let's come back this way now. So anyways, you know, the first day I wanted us to get established over here and kind of give you an idea how things work. We'll be coming back tomorrow for another episode, and we will begin with setting up our nursery. I'm going to do the bio key first. Now it says to build the biotech first on the terraforming stage 1 up on the upper left corner of my screen, but you can build them in any order you want. I'm not going to because I'm not going to activate anything until everything is done, including both keys are done, and so no worries on that. Now, so if we have the materials, we'll set down the first part of this, which is farming, and that's what we're going to use. We want to put these beds down, and we're going to put down a dirt extractor and the composter. So I'll put the dirt extractor down first. This has to go on top of the dirt. I'm going to put it right, there. And then I'm going to get the machine that cleans the dirt, the composter, right next to it. Oh, we don't have enough materials, so let's scroll over and see what we're missing. 10 scraps. We can do that really quickly on our table. If I scroll all the way to the top, I have copper and steel scrap. This ingredients is just scrap metal, so we'll do that, and we'll go boom, 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 boom. Up, looks like we're out of materials. We'll run over here and grab some more. Then we'll run back, jump back in here, and there again, let's make some scrap. So we got some scrap now, so now we should be able to set that down. There we go. We'll set it right next to the dirt cleaning machine. All right, so next, let's put these seeds away. Now we have 4 of every seed, and we actually are going to need 6. So, but the first thing we're going to do right now is I'm going to hit F, and I am going to remove our laser machine and the power cable, the belt, and of course, power source, the windmill. Fill these empty gaps real quick. Okay, so like I said, I want to build my power source down here. So I'm going to need to put down 6 beds to planter beds. And so I'm going to go to farming. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're short. What are we short of? Steel scraps. So let's go make some of those. We'll put the last one down. And that'll be our 5 planting beds. And they will be ready to go. And then we will be calling it an episode for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You're kind of getting a grasp on what's going on here. When we come back tomorrow, we'll install some water. We need to bring the water over here so that we can set up a tank. We need to put down one of these, the water tank. And then we're going to need to put down a pump inside the water and pipe stuff over. So, but this is the basics, and this is how you start. And as you can see, it's kind of coming together. We will build our factory lines right along here, just over from where the planter beds are. I'm going to set up 2 lines, and we will build all the things that we need to finish the tech key. And before you know it, we'll be moving on to monolith 2, which is that building way over there in the distance, the white one. That will be monolith 2 once we've completed this. And it should be only a few episodes and we should be done with this and we'll be moving on. Anyways, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video today. If you did, hit that like button. It really helps. Also, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, and it helps us out and we appreciate it. Also, hit the bell for a notification when we drop our next videos. Thanks for watching. This is Crazy with Crazy Gaming. This is Junk Punk. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.